Okay, sir.
Ass kombucha.
Gross. And we are back. Children of the Beast, episode number 25. Here, It's me, Andrew, with, as always, the conspiracy to my theory, Carlos. What's up, buddy? I wish I could claim that, but I'm stealing that from another show.
That's hilarious.
It's very good, though. It's good.
Because you can also switcheroo it and everything.
Yeah. That's great.
I like it. Hello.
How are you? We are recording this on the 24th, the day after Conor McGregor and Dustin Poirier. And let's just get right into it. I mean, that's what I want to talk about. That's what you want to talk about.
Yeah. You know, it all summarizes in a one concept for me: botched plan. Because I was gonna have the Children of the Beat podcast and all the little beasts out there help us start a petition for the Vatican to nominate Conor McGregor for sainthood.
You're so dumb.
I don't know how you do that, but I know that you can get nominated for sainthood. Like it's a thing. Like saints have been people, not all of them, but people that were verified in history and record.
Accurate. Yes,
okay,
accurate.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I was like, we got to start it. It should be St. McConnor's Day and all of this shit. And then Dustin Poirier is like, hold my hot sauce, bro.
Hold my hot sauce.
Hold my hot sauce,
Here,
bro.
Connor,
hold my hot sauce right here. I got some hot sauce right here. And goddamn, what a good fight.
Have you rewatched it?
No, I haven't. I'm gonna rewatch it tonight.
Yeah.
But I mean, I watched intently. It was that for me, I was pretty even
locked in.
So, yeah. Chandler, I still say the best fucking debut. I went about it over in my head this morning, and I cannot think of anybody who's ever debuted and the actual quality of the result of the debut matched the hype.
Yes, agreed.
This exceeded the hype. This guy came in with hype, and us as longtime UFC fans, we kind of like, you kind of raise a brow a little bit, you know, and you go like, well, we'll see, you know, because we've seen it before, and not to take anything away from people, but everybody that came from another league, from DC to Luke,
it took them a minute. They had to figure it out. Different speed.
Yes, that no one came in blazing. Yeah. You know what I mean? And but this motherfucker, Chandler is he's just such a professional, man. I'm telling you.
Said, fuck your feints, fuck your range, fuck your reach. I'm gonna walk you down and knock you out. And it was incredible.
And you can tell that Dan Hooker,
he was surprised, motherfuckers.
Lot to process in a very short amount of time in his young life. Like this, all of a sudden, in a matter of 3 minutes last night, there was a complete new set of fucking parameters that were input into his fucking entire life, and he had to process that on pay-per-view in front of all of us.
And I would like to also
beautiful
point
things
out,
of the sport.
Did you know he can't go back to New Zealand until like March?
Yeah, because he's got to quarantine in Abu Dhabi for like 15 days, and then he got to get there, test, and then quarantine like 30 days or something. So that's insane. But also, his head coach was not there with him. Is that the guy that...
Eugene Behrman out of kickboxing.
Yeah.
So I'm right. He had his corner, but he was missing his head coach. I'm not trying to make excuses for Dan Hooker. Michael Chandler went in there and did the goddamn thing. Like,
I listen. But, unless he had Izzy in the octagon with him, that's the only way he was going to beat Chandler. Last night, was like 2-on-1.
And like, right. I mean, I came into this. I feel like I mentioned this last week. Like, unabashed Dan Hooker fan. Unabashed City kickboxing fan.
I'm a fan of both of them.
I expected him to win. I truly thought Dan Hooker was going to be like, fuck you, you're Bellator, bitch. And Mike Chandler shocked me. I'm not shocked me, but he showed what's up. Got to give the respect.
He did. I mean, I'm not surprised, but I was skeptical.
Sure. Yeah, that's a great way to put it. And then an incredible promo he cut, Mike Chandler, there at the end after the fight.
Yeah, no, he
did everything perfect.
Picture perfect.
He did everything perfect.
Yeah. Like he had a perfect business trip.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? Plus, he didn't really take any damage.
No, he's fresh. He's fresh.
That dude has all of 2021 to look forward to building up on this. Yeah. And he's immediately in the conversation at the top of the division. I'm not saying he's a next title or anything.
I've seen a lot of that. I don't necessarily agree with it. I think you have to give him a top 5 fighter because you have to do.
I agree. That's what I mean.
You got to give him top 5.
That's what I see. I think like he arrived into the top 5 directly.
And none of those guys can say nothing about not wanting to fight him at this point. And if you do,
Hooker,
you look like a bitch.
then they the hooker.
Yeah.
yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
No, man, it's insane, but it was great. It was great. And then with Conor, like, it's so crazy because a Conor fight is just so different.
The aura around it,
it's just different.
There's just the mystique of Conor McGregor.
Yeah. And it was so fucking cool. But I also have to go back, and I've been saying this shit for years. Since the Aldo fight, I've been saying this. And I've said it to you a million times. What happens when he takes a leg kick? Well, that's what fucking should have happened. That's what Aldo should have fucking done. That's what all of them should have done. That leg's out there all the time. Such a wide stance. All the time, you know? So I think it's really cool. I love the story of Dustin Poirier, just in general. I mean, and it's also very cool for Conor to be like, okay, I had to cringe, claw, dolly, and fucking verbally abuse my way into the spot I wanted. Then I had to prove that I deserve that spot. And now he's so far above everybody else and alongside the sports top that he could just be gracious and he can be respectful. And it was
he handled it perfectly. He handled the loss perfectly.
Great. Yeah,
and
everything.
Like,
the entire fight week.
To speak to your leg kick comment, like, he's limping around today for the next week. He is not walking normally for a long
No, those were heavy. Those were very heavy and they're underrated. I mean, I'm telling you, the only people that I've seen just take him are the Diaz brothers. Right. I've never understood it. I don't know why, because they don't check it. They act like you didn't even kick him, and that's just toughness. Yeah. But I question how intelligent that toughness may or may not be, because it is a very painful thing. That fucking nerve in the calf. Well, my God, dude.
That seems to what Dustin hit, right? Because, I mean, Conor was able to, right, in the first round, he was able to catch some of the kicks. He was able to check a couple of them. But even with the checking, it just, the money. It was just too money. It was just too
Well, there's
money.
That, and what he called checking, again, that is a somewhat effective technique for a thigh kick.
Sure.
But his leg never left 90 degrees.
Right.
All right. And in my opinion, even at a civilian speed, you give me a 90-degree leg and I can kick it. That leg has to check at 15 degrees off of center, at least, so that the shin bone is facing. Otherwise, you're just kind of deflecting it. And once somebody gets a little bit of timing and lands it, they're still hitting the side of your leg, you know? But I haven't seen Conor get kicked in the leg yet.
Yeah.
You know, and then the finishing sequence was reminiscent of what Conor did to Eddie Alvarez.
Sure.
Just all of a sudden, Dustin just found the button and he punched it 7 times or something. You know what I mean? Like it was just such a good dude and a good story and fucking.
Did you see the video of his wife after the fight?
Yeah, man. Yeah.
Ride or die.
Very cool.
Ride or die.
Very cool.
Awesome.
Very cool.
It was great.
Awesome.
It was great.
Yeah.
It was great.
It was a good. They said they had a picture. I think MMA Junkie or somebody. I saw it on Twitter, and it was him looking at his wife. And then through the cage, you see the wife, and she's standing up, and she's like, I was like, yeah.
That was awesome.
That's awesome. Paid in full.
I truly think, and we're gonna have to be talking about this man, Dana White, but I truly feel like, especially after everything that Khabib has come out and said now post-fight, right? How do you not just go to Dustin and be like, here, you deserve this, and just give him the fucking belt off that win? Because it seemed like the only reason why he hasn't stripped Khabib was because in his mind, he was going to be able to get Khabib back. And now with Dustin winning like that, I just don't think it's going to happen. I just truly don't.
Yeah, but I think that they're giving Khabib the respect of him relinquishing.
But I mean, that, like, again, that can happen.
Well, he retired. So yeah, if you retire, that's
and again,
true.
like, I understand not maybe initially making it for the title, but I kind of love the move of, like, the post facto after the fight, Dana White acknowledging what Dustin did, acknowledging what Khabib said, and be like, listen, this guy, based on his last fight, he's our champ. If you have a problem, go fight him.
Yeah.
It would be unprecedented. It would be unprecedented. And I think that's why it's such a good move.
Well, but we also, would have to look into all the specifics too. Like how many, like all the people that are kind of in that conversation.
Yeah.
Based on results or whatever. Yeah. How many of them, where's their contracts at fight-wise? Sure. Where's their pay rate at?
Well, and like, right, that's
Who's
actually a great
manager?
Point. Dana White would never do that, because then that immediately means he has to pay Dustin like a champion for the next fight.
Exactly.
Where you can still make the exact same fight for the title and then just pay him his rate currently. So
So, I mean, I don't think it will. I think that the type of performance Dustin puts, he finally has some power.
Yeah.
He finally has some fucking power. It's like Max Holloway.
Yeah. The 150. Him calling Max Holloway a kid, saying he has 2 wins over the kid. Great line. Great underrated line, I feel like.
Well, and I think it's putting a little bit of a, I think when divisions are shallow is when you see a lot of hopping up and down in weight classes.
Lightweight ain't shallow
This is showing us there's a difference, and there's a reason for the difference between the featherweights and the fucking lightweight.
Questionably.
By the way, speaking of difference, McGregor looked bigger than I've ever fucking seen him.
He looked jacked. He looked incredible.
He looked great at this weight.
Yeah.
I think he was always like sucked in at featherweight. I mean, I wonder if maybe that's why he fucked up his knee. Again, civilian ass fucking bro science. But years ago, when I tore my knee, now that I look back on it, I think that I was not training enough strength.
Sure.
And I was running too much, and I was sparring all the fucking time.
Yeah.
I think all that
It
stuff
It takes a toll, not tear.
I like to booze it up a little bit. So now sometimes you're sparring dehydrated.
Yeah, the recovery is not
just
there.
for your head, but for your joints and for all the, the shit that's gotta fucking lubricate and shit. And so I don't know, man. It was
and now I feel like we should move on to the main event of this UFC topic, right? Dana White, he came out and said, "Hey, all you illegal streamers, we're going to get you, you motherfuckers. You better watch out. You turn the button on. We're outside your fucking house, yada, yada, yada."
Which I support, by the way.
Well, it's a fucking mission in futility. That's never going to happen. He's never going to get the pirates out of the fucking sport. That's just impossible. He should get the idea out of his brain. Out of his brain, because it's never going to happen.
Just deliver better customer service and deliver a better product for the price point.
He still hasn't said anything about what. I guess we should speak to what we're alluding to, right? We tried to be paying UFC of the pay-per-view. We tried to pay for it. In fact,
I didn't try. They billed me. They billed me twice.
Well, the reason why I'm saying try is because we couldn't access it until the third fight. Until the Juliana Pena and Jessica Evil Eye fight, which sucked, by the way, but whatever.
No, Jojo Calderwood.
Either way. Again, that's evident of how good that fight was. I can't remember the proper fighters. But again, regardless, we couldn't access to watch the first 3 fights. We were paying ESPN subscribers, or ESPN Plus subscribers. You have to be to buy the pay-per-view, by the way. And it's just, everyone's clowning on you, Dana White. You have multiple UFC fighters talking about on Twitter about how, I'm trying to watch this legally. Oh, well, I guess I'll just find an illegal stream. And the streams, they were great. There are so many different illegal streams. I got texted several of different ones from friends. It's insane to me that Dana White is kind of seemingly ignoring this issue as of right now.
I saw a thing right before we were here because I was eating some lunch real quick, where he acknowledged it in the press conference, but basically acted like it was no big deal, that it was mostly in the West Coast here in the United States. Well, that's where you're based, dude.
Yeah.
You are based in Las Vegas.
Yeah. I mean, we got an issue with the ESPN app that I've never seen before. It said your region or country or this is not available in your region/country, which makes 0 sense because on Wednesday we were in America and we were able to access the UFC on the ESPN Plus. And now on Saturday for this pay-per-view, it's just not working. And it wouldn't even allow you to go into the app. It would show you the screen and then kick you out of the app. It was just...
well, there's that. And also, and here's the other fucking thing. I mean, I've never made a secret that I shit on ESPN.
Yeah.
To me, they're good for nothing but documentaries.
Yeah.
I don't give a fuck about your fucking sports. I don't give a fuck about any other personalities on there. I think that bald motherfucker's a moron. The guy with the forehead that starts halfway down his head, Stephen A. Smith.
I mean, the majority of the commentators like
I could do my entire life and had done so without ESPN until I was forced into subscribing to a piece of shit app. The app is fucking terrible. The fucking platform's terrible. The service is terrible.
I mean, and this has been consistent since the beginning of it.
Well, and that's the thing about it. So yesterday when we had the issue, right? At first I bought it on the Roku, which is what we're using the whole house. And so that is when we got the first error. Then I did it on my phone, right? Well, as it turns out, Roku billed me for one and Apple billed me for one. But how is that possible if they're both linked to the same ESPN account?
Yeah.
and I go back to the other platforms, the UFC Fight Pass app, never had that issue. I had before when the first time I tested it, I think I had to switch devices or go somewhere else, and I logged into my thing, and I had to hit purchase again. And I was like, oh, fuck, they're going to charge me again.
Right.
No, it wasn't. It was already fucking purchased. Like, they have done this before, and it's not an issue. So how's it possible that, like...
Well, and like, right,
ESPN, at this point, I'm $140, and we watched 3 fights out of that $70 5-fight card. And the 3 fights that we watched, one of them should have been in the fucking prelims.
Agreed. Yeah.
I mean, Brad Tavares would have been better in that fucking spot than that fight. I mean, it was, it's fucked up, and it's all over the fucking internet. Then you get on the ESPN app, even if you get it on your browser, there's nowhere to dispute charges. I was on hold. I put my phone down while I was like making coffee and smoothie and shit this morning. 25 minutes.
Did you get through?
No, I gave up. I finally went to, that's when my wife looked at the account. She's like, oh, they billed us twice on this and on this, right? So I get on Roku, and I see the invoice there, which is how I ordered it. And then I got on my Apple account, and I saw that it's a pending charge. So I'm going to wait because I cannot dispute it until it posts.
Gotcha. Yeah,
but maybe they'll figure it out in the meantime and reverse it. Yeah. Either way, it's just another time where it seems like since the ownership changed.
Yeah, to WME.
Yes. It's almost like Dana has the same amount of power, but feels absolved of a lot of the accountability.
Unquestionably. Yeah.
And it's like, we've been following you, man. I mean, as much as we're fans of the fucking UFC, we're fans of what he's done. We're fans of him.
Yeah. Well,
like we can't help it because he's done this shit. Yeah. He said, go to fucking HDNet or go to wherever, every fucking little fucking thing that they told us to go to, we went to. Now we're on fucking Versus. Now we're on this. Now we're on that. And we're finally landing on this thing.
The worldwide leader in sports, ESPN. Dude.
Even the ABC app from a week ago, that worked fucking great.
Yeah, that was incredible.
Like the Fight app, Fight TV app,
FITE
works
Fight.
Fucking great.
Yeah.
Like what the hell is wrong?
Tough Enough has a better stream than last night.
Oh my god, it's insane, man! It's insane. And so I'm gonna dispute the charges. I don't give a fuck.
You absolutely should. You absolutely should.
This is complete and total fucking rubbish. Right. And somebody fucked up. Yeah. Maybe if you weren't so fucking concerned about some petty shit, because you know what? It is petty shit. Those people that steal the shit every time and whatever
are going to do it every time. You're never going to quit them.
Either love it so much that they just don't have another fucking choice, right, or they're just fucking scumbags. It doesn't, like, to me, like, what are you going to do?
It's just an impossible. It's literally an impossible. It should
be a concerted effort for the bars. I get that part of it.
Sure, unquestionably, yeah.
But outside of that, I mean, fucking get it together, man. Deliver a fucking good customer service.
And like, right, just with the amount of shit that Dana White was talking, for this to blow up so spectacularly in his face, I mean, couldn't happen to a better person. And it's just, I didn't see that his comment that was so minimizing of it. I saw that ESPN had released a statement about it and was basically just like, yeah, we're sorry this happened, whatever. Which is, again, come on, guys, what are we doing here? Yep. This is arguably going to be...
What they're doing is paying the merited amount of attention to a tiny piece of their pie.
Right. And it's crazy because, like, a Conor McGregor card is a card that draws so many more eyes to the sport than any other fight does. Any other fighter. He just does right now. Yeah. He just does, and he has for a long time. And when shit like this happens, it doesn't help the idea of UFC just being fucking human cockfighting. Can't even get the stream to work. What is it? Come on, like, bare knuckle has a better stream. Bare knuckle boxing has a better stream.
At this point, I mean, I honestly believe anyone that streams fights has a better fucking stream than ESPN streaming fights. I mean, ESPN is great on the rewatch. Yes. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah, I agree with that.
But live streaming is fucking... I mean,
and even for other sports, like I've watched ESPN Plus for like other sports and different things that are on, and like consistently the live streaming platform fails. Like it's not good. It's not that great.
I mean, I've been having the same issue with Spotify. I'm hoping I rectified it now because I don't listen to Spotify. I don't use it.
Right.
You know, I don't listen to anything that is gonna make me suggestions about music because I don't like. That's why I like iTunes because I don't want to hear anything that I didn't fucking specifically put there. I don't want to hear sounds like this or any of that shit, right? And the radio station driven ones like Pandora and all that stuff, that shit doesn't work for me because I don't want to be interacting with it. I want you to play what I said and leave me the fuck alone. You know, and I see a lot of it. For instance, when I talk to my friends that like a lot of those apps. I'll be like, hey, man, did you hear that new Rival Sons record? And they've only heard like the 2 songs that they'll play on Spotify and on Pandora, like not the actual record.
But like, I mean, like,
and it's like, even though people can have access to it, it's a lot easier to just let it play in the background, which is kind of it deciding what it's going to play.
But with Spotify, I mean, you can absolutely go to an artist and look at their CDs and discography.
No. I know you can. I know you can. But what I'm saying is that the way that you first come to interact with it is in a radio station like modality.
I mean, I think for some people, they just truly just look up their artists and make their playlists the way they want to, and they're just able to listen to that. Because like, right, I have no problem with Spotify because I make my playlist. You just ignore the suggestions, whatever.
Yeah, no. But see, here's the thing. So I've never heard a single song on Spotify because I have no interest in it. I'm happy with the one service provider that I utilize and have no reason to look elsewhere, right? So Rogan moves to Spotify, and I downloaded the app. And it's like everything else that I've used from back in the day, what was it called? Before Downcast, Stitcher, and like anything that we've used as podcast platforms, right? I've always had a Apple CarPlay in my car for a long time. And so it's a seamless integration. It just goes back and forth. You get in, you plug, and I'm hardwired always. I don't do the Bluetooth shit. And so I'm hardwired and it always works great. With this one, I'll be like watching, it'll switch itself.
Yeah, to the car mode.
No. It switches itself to a different podcast. Like I'll be an hour into a podcast and it'll switch itself to another podcast.
I've never had that
like
happen.
And the screen, it freezes. When I go between the car and out of the car, the screen freezes. It acts like it magnified and it freezes. So what I started doing now is I'm downloading them because that's what Downcast does too, you know, instead of streaming them because the streaming is just not, it doesn't fucking work well. And so, but it's free. You know, it's free, and Rogan don't charge us for the fucking podcast. So I mean, either I adjust and figure it out and make it work for me, or I can go fuck myself. But last night, $140 for 3 goddamn fights. One, which was JoJo Calderwood and Jessica I. What that's a bridge too far, dude. Like, what you want to? Should I bend over and cup your balls? Like, what the fuck?
And like, I don't think we're two people who get upset when cards end too quickly because there are knockouts and whatnot. Because I know there are people who are like, oh, I didn't get my money's worth, which I think is a fucking stupid thought. But yeah, it's just Dana White. What's
and joining the list of fucking companies nowadays. I don't think people sometimes realize how important it is to have a way to resolve an issue with a customer.
Sure.
The fact that I looked everywhere on the ESPN. I looked in the ESPN app, and the ESPN app had nothing.
You probably have to go through Disney support, honestly.
And then I got on the browser one, and the browser one where it says support, it's got a fucking graphic that says go to ESPN on your mobile app device, and it has that same image. You can scroll. There's like 10 of them in a row. Same image. This is ESPN.
Yeah. ESPN.
So it's insane. Like there's nowhere on there where I could see like my billing cycle or my account.
Yeah, the ESPN website is not great. Like having to go into like your profile settings and whatnot is just never, it's never good.
Yeah, man. I mean, it's just.
And again, it's wild. The worldwide leader in sports. Hire one tech nerd, guys. Come on, figure it out. You have the money. You got that Disney money.
And they just raised the fucking price too. Yeah. Like listen, it's not a big ask. Deliver the product that people are paying for. That's just the economy.
It just seems right when companies, especially companies that like serve so many people, when they get to a critical mass of people, I guess they just do the math of, well, fuck it, we might lose some people because of our shitty support, but then we don't have to deal about it. Whereas like a smaller company doesn't get that luxury.
Yeah. I mean, that's definitely true. But I am in the fading minority of people that has always paid for their pay-per-views.
Sure.
So you're trying.
That means nothing. That means nothing.
On the
them,
one hand, you're trying to stop people from fucking taking your shit for free, but on the other hand, when you do charge for it, you don't have your shit together enough. Right. And not only that, but if you don't have your shit together enough, at least fucking how about
acknowledge it?
Fuck yeah,
have a statement about it. Yeah,
we're setting up a Twitter account for you, or whatever it is, for you guys to report if you had an issue, and if we owe you a refund, you'll get the next card. I don't know, dude.
Do something. Exactly. Do something.
You know what I mean?
Right,
like this. If this was Denny's, they'd give me some free waffles. You know what I mean? Like what the fuck?
It would be, and right. That's the thing. Like it would be so easy for the UFC to do something to kind of make this right, and it just seems Dana White's going to be Dana White and be like, "Go fuck yourself." Which is it's crazy. It's just, I mean, right? It's at the end of the day, it's indicative of how Dana White is. It's Dana being Dana through and through.
Yeah, and also, it gets to a point that like maybe like last year, towards the end of the year, I didn't order a couple of pay-per-views, right?
Yeah.
And then a couple of weeks later, I get to watch the fights.
Right.
And usually when I don't order it, I have a pretty good batting average of them not being a good fucking card anyway.
Sure.
And I don't think I've ever missed a live card that I wanted to watch, even if I ordered it, didn't watch it live, and didn't open any social media till I got to wherever I could watch the replay. You know what I'm saying? Like, so it just seems it's very strange. I'm wondering if anything's gonna come once tomorrow hits.
Yeah.
I did see a bunch of people fucking.
Well, I mean, when you have
posting about it,
MMA UFC fighters, MMA media members having the exact same problem as random civilians like you and I. Figure it out, buddy. That's what I said. You better figure that shit out.
It's fucking nuts, man. It's nuts. But I mean, if the feature that he wants is just like, oh, so the ESPN because of the library, and you add it to the library 2 weeks later, if that gets to be, well, fuck it, dude. But I mean, this is it sucked. It really fucking sucks.
It really harshed Carmelo, to say the least.
Yeah, man.
Like it was just such a bummer, and like
you're hyped for it, and more than anything, it's insulting. I think, especially with the acknowledging of it to me, because people will forgive you for anything, except pretending like something that they saw didn't happen,
right?
That affects them. That costs them money or whatever. Like that's
again, that's the thing. Like this seems to be such an easy thing to fix. It truly does feel like it would be such an easy thing.
I bet you it's easier to fix than the piracy problem.
Yeah, unquestionably, 100%.
I mean, I'm not an expert, but I'm willing to bet everything I own that it's easier to fix the fucking quality of the streaming and get their shit together than to catch the pirates at sea and the interwebs.
I mean, just right. Someone has to be like, yo, Dana, you're like, this is a fool's errand. Like you're chasing fool's gold trying to catch these pirates. It's just fool's gold. It just, I mean, since the invention of the internet, we've had piracy in some way, shape, and the other. And it's evolved. It's gone better. Like when you have so many different options, of course, you're not going to be able to shut down every website. Yeah. And the one big website they did shut down, which happened a couple weeks ago, was because Brendan Schaub fucking tweeted it out.
God damn it, Schaub.
Crack streams. He's 100% responsible for crack streams going down.
I did not know that. That's hilarious.
I mean, he's just fucking dumb and was like, oh, I can just watch shit here. And just, that shit got shut down quick. But then again, there's like fucking 4 or 5 others that fill the void immediately.
I mean, if anything, he should have like an undercover team in like each town. Then go and check out the bars while the fight's going on. And
that's a fair thing. I think that's a fair thing with bars and places of business where they're making revenue. If you're
gonna make 40 or 50 grand off of the fight, you know what I mean? Like in one night.
But the idea you're gonna catch every fucking college kid that wants to watch UFC that pops it up on their phone, and it's like it's laughable. Haha, Dana White. What do you do?
And then what? Oh no, because I forgot. So you know why they're doing this, right?
Yeah.
So in the relief bill, they made piracy of streaming content felony. Yes, dude.
That's insane, dude.
Yes. That's insane. Look it up, because you're like a fucking
I did not know this.
Legislation type of dude, and I know you'll find it. But yeah, so they snuck it in there. into either the stimulus. I just heard about this on fucking crazy. Rogan. Either in the stimulus bill or one of the recent bills, just recently, just like the transgender bathroom shit that he already fucking signed.
Who cares? I mean, like, I feel like it's incredible to me that I feel like so many people are just okay with not caring about politics. And I feel that hard. Like, whatever, dude. Like, Biden's going to do Biden, whatever.
I have a hard time just witnessing the disingenuous behavior of both sides that refuse to realize that they're both as equally flawed.
Well, and one thing that I think is incredible is like, right, I feel like I'm going to mispronounce this word, so I'm not going to use it, but like, right, treating the American public like babies.
Yeah.
Because it's like, oh, now we have the adults back in the office. Everyone can just go about their day and everything's going to get taken care of. Oh, Biden ran and campaigned on having a vaccine plan and then had a press conference saying, well, doesn't look like we're going to be able to do much. And then the administration lying and talking about how Trump didn't really leave them a plan or anything. And then you have Dr. Fauci coming out and be like, well, no, that's not true. I mean, we're still going through it's just incredible. It's just incredible. Whatever.
Well, and what I don't like is the immediate appeasing of specific agendas that are super liberal. You know, I'm sorry, but the transsexual bathroom
transgender
bathroom issue is not a huge issue. It just isn't.
It really
isn't. It's not. They made it a hot button topic.
It is
polemic racing and shit.
Yeah, it is 100% a media narrative. Like,
and did you see that and he also signed some executive order changing or adding some kind of different provision to Title IX to where they're gonna now allow anybody that identifies as a different sex to compete in that gender. So a man who identifies as a woman can go and fucking play basketball against little girls.
Well, I mean, sport is inherently based on physical differences.
It's insane to me. I mean, like, again, that's a priority. Oh, but they don't want to impeach Trump because we don't want to be distracted from the goal. What?
Yeah.
This is day 4. You distracted already.
Also, where are we supposed to get new stimmy? Where's my new stimmy? Where's my Biden bucks? Where's my Biden bucks?
Shit, I already got it.
What are you what are you talking about? What's stimmy? What?
I already got my stimulus, man.
But like the new stimmy, the new 2K check?
Well, it wasn't a check. They sent a card. It's like a debit card type of deal. And then you can organize your own transfer to your bank account or use the card.
I feel like this doesn't happen. I feel like we're talking about two different stimuli. I feel like in the last 4 days since Biden's been in office, am I completely ignorant to this news?
Nah, I guess you are, dude, because I already fucking even sent it to a credit card.
I feel like you're talking about the stimulus that Trump passed before he left office. He didn't pass it, but like it was passed right at the beginning of the year.
I don't know. Maybe. This was like, we got like $2,000, I think.
Oh, this was 9 hours ago. Streamline.
Yeah, man.
No, but so Biden has proposed a $1.9 trillion relief plan to Congress, but it's unclear whether it'll garner enough support to pass.
Oh, so that's a different stimulus.
Yeah, this is the one that they were running in Georgia that if you vote for Democrats, you're going to get 2K checks.
Oh, okay.
And then it came out that was going to be $1,400 because we said 2K, but that just meant we're going to add on from the previous Trump bucks, the previous 600, which I believe is what you were talking about.
Yes.
But apparently there was some sort of executive order that he signed 8 hours ago to streamline the delivery of stimulus checks. Oh, so this is to make it for the people who haven't received the stimulus that we were just talking about to make that happen quicker for them.
Gotcha. So, yeah.
Whatever.
It's actually pretty great because I have the lowest amount of credit card debt I've ever had in my entire life now.
That is good.
Oh, dude, my extra bills outside of like the house and everything, like they've gone down so much. And that 600 was a final piece of resistance on a credit card. They're all like, hey, update your income. Let's get a higher credit limit. No, not here. Don't want your money unless I need it. It feels good. I lied and shit. I've said that all. Jamie was like, hey, we got the money. The transfer went through. It's like, all right. Tremendous. Thank you. Also, went to a casino. went to a casino on a shitty part of town here in Las Vegas to do some work.
PAX?
I would call it a super spreader covidial friendly event. Okay. They were not distancing. They were not far away from one another. And while everybody was using a ceremonial type of mask wear, they're smoking the entire time.
So it's on their ear or like on
and
the pocket.
Let me tell you another motherfucking thing. If you smoke cigarettes, you should not fucking you should be the last one to get the vaccine.
Yeah.
Boom. I said it.
Game
fuck
over.
You.
Yeah.
You don't give a fuck. What the fuck do you care?
Well, I'm like, right. It's incredible how bad the vaccine rollout has been. Yeah. At least here in the state of Nevada.
Also, Mark Zuckerberg, how about get it together, dog? Let's pull the posts of the deniers of the vaccine so they can be at the back of the list too. Like so they can show up and be like, not you. Remember July of 2020 there, Steven? Yeah, this is you, is it not, Steven? What is this that you said, Steven? Please reread us your comment.
I think it's valid to maybe have some concerns about it, but just the outright denial and the outright fear mongering you see on social media, that seems to incite more damage and violence than Trump ever did, in my opinion.
Or equal. That's the thing, is that I don't see it as more or less. I just see it equal but different. You know what I mean? Like it's. But whatever, man. I just want this shit to get started. I guess I'm not surprised because this is why I don't vote. But the first fucking couple of days of his administration, and I'm already like baffled.
Sure.
Like, what the fuck are we doing?
Yeah.
This is day 1, 2, 3, and 4, dude. Like, this is
right.
I don't know. I don't know. How about a fucking visit to the Capitol building and you know, I don't know, man. I mean, well, at least his wife brought out the National Guard cookies, which I love. That's the kind of shit we need. You know what I'm saying? That's the first lady, goddammit.
Did you also
That's what a first lady does.
Did you also see how the National Guard had to be sent, or it was sent into a parking garage to spend the night, and there was a whole uproar about it, which, to my understanding, I still don't know what happened because Capitol Police.
Have they seen how they sleep when they get deployed overseas?
Oh yeah, 100%. But also, like, right, Capitol Police are refusing to take any sort of ownership over that decision, even though my understanding is that they're the ones who are overseeing the National Guard where they're on the Capitol, and that. So I'm big time confused. Big time confused.
Well, yeah, but I would also ask what kind of resources does the Capitol Police have to facilitate that scale of housing? That seems like it's out of their scope prior to now. You know what I mean? Like, I mean,
it also just seems like, right, the Pentagon's literally 5 miles away from that area.
Like for instance,
figure it out, guys.
An ex-co-worker of mine that left the company last year is working back east, and the company that he works with has its own travel agency. And me and you have never heard of the company name. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. But these guys have to like go from where he's at. Yeah. He deploys like 4-6 hours away. Gotcha. They need a fucking hotel or whatever.
Gotcha.
They have a travel company that handles all that because obviously the company pays. Right. But that's what I'm saying. Like you would, you know, some of the criticisms I think are coming so fast. It's like people, rather than doing a 20-minute Google search, right? If something really infuriated you that much, why don't you do a Google search on it and see, well, you know, what kind of precedent would be for the Capitol Police to know how to house 2,000 people or however many people they fucking got.
Well, I mean,
if there is no precedent, that's a shit load of people.
Well, and also, why? Why were they all there? It's very clear they were not needed.
Well, they got late. They're late, as far as I'm concerned.
Well, yeah, I mean,
actually, they could have been there a couple of weeks before, and you know what I mean. Like,
but I mean, like following the riots on the 6th, right? DC was basically in a military occupied zone until the inauguration for seemingly nothing, right? There was a guy and like, right, there was the whole, they're going to be protests days leading into the inauguration in all of 50 states and capitals, and fucking no one showed up, dude.
No.
Anyway.
Well, I mean, I think that they probably would have. I don't think they expected such a response from the FBI and the Department of Justice.
Yeah, but once they had that response, it just seemed very clear. Like,
yeah, 100%. Yes,
got Trumpers crying about it on planes, being on the no-fly list, which is incredible. I mean, I'm never gonna.
It's so funny.
It's so good.
It's so funny. Yeah, listen, you
reap what you sow.
You do. You follow a fucking clown. Foolish shit's gonna happen to you.
One of my favorite memes, which has been very applicable here in the last month, is me reaping. Fuck yeah, this is awesome. Me sowing. Fuck no, what's happening?
It's funny.
It's so accurate. It's so accurate right now. It's great. It's so good. Also,
that's hilarious.
You know who's another guy that meme applies to? Does the name Osman Azatar mean anything to you?
Hold on. I know this one.
You do.
I believe I do, but
it's relevant to this last week and last night. UFC fighter, Fight Island. Hold on, look. Let me show you. Let me give you a visual hint. He's wearing a wristband. Abu Dhabi. So he's a UFC fighter.
Oh,
Osman
he's the guy
Azatar.
that left the bubble.
So he didn't leave the bubble. The story is he cut off his wristband, gave it to people who were not allowed to be inside the bubble. The person taped it back up, came in all like with a bag of undisclosed items. We just know it's a bag. Climbed a balcony, had his like shimmy his way across 4 other balconies to sneak into this fighter's room. Came in, dropped off the bag, changed his clothes, and then left. Then bounced the same way he came in. And then Dana White's like, we got the guy on tape. We have security tape of everything that happened. In fact, the security guards were trying to track down this dude, and he just walked out without basically just like I'm walking away. You can't stop me. If I don't see you, you can't stop me. Man got his fight removed from the UFC, Osman Azatar, and is now cut. Immediately got cut.
Where's he from?
He is of Moroccan descent, and I believe he lives in Germany.
Damn, that's some strange shit.
Apparently, right?
Obviously, we haven't heard of the last of this.
Kareem Zidane, the reporter, he's done a profile on him and his brother because his brother's also an MMA fighter, where apparently they're linked to some criminal gang activities. They're have apparently some sort of relationship with the monarchy in Morocco. Like they're hanging out with the king of Morocco and whatnot. So seems to be very shady individuals, to be honest.
Some weird ass shit.
Yeah.
Wow, I didn't know that.
Yeah,
I didn't know that.
Cut from the U and like Dana White. Let me just say, we were talking all the shit. Tip my hat. That's the exact appropriate response.
Well, that's the same thing. That's the same thing that I think it's to me gives me hope. The response that we're talking about for the rioters of the capital city, to me, as far as I'm concerned, that was a riot. I think
absolutely.
No different than Watts in the 60s, and you know what I mean, and
no different than Portland and Oregon over the last year,
or LA in the 90s after Rodney King or OJ or whatever. I think it's a funny commentary on the disparity of racial entitlement. Because to the eyes of the law, it doesn't matter what color you are. You do that, we're going to come after you. Yeah. And they're proving that. They've arrested so many of these fucking idiots, as they should, you know. But the funny thing about it to me is the naivety of this largely Caucasian population that incited this riot to think that them turning themselves in is going to make a bit of difference. Yeah. It's really just cowardice. You already did it. Oh, what do you think, that you're going to do the right thing and face justice? They're not going to give a fuck. This is not going to matter compared to what you did, you know? And the only thing, like, if there were minorities, they'd never be turning themselves into.
Come get me.
Equally guilty. Yeah, well, you already did it. What kind of idiot goes in? It's almost like a grandstanding in misunderstood nobility.
Sure. Yeah, totally. Well,
it's gonna matter, you dummies.
I mean, I will say, go ahead.
The terrorist list, I love that they're on the list.
The no-fly list.
With people that have names is Mohammed, names that they hate just to hear. Sure. And you're on the same fucking list.
That is really good. That's really
tremendous.
Good.
They should publish that shit.
That's one of the big. That's one of the big criticisms of the no-fly list is that, like, right, they don't publish that. They don't publish that. There's no way to know the criteria. It's my understanding there's no way to appeal it. It's very much like closed thing. Like, right, like if I'm not mistaken, even like the ACLU has come out against like the no-fly list.
No shit.
Yeah. It's not. It's right. TSA going to be TSA, I guess.
It's interesting. Well, but here's my question. So if TSA is a private company,
Government agency.
It is a government agency.
Yeah.
I thought they were private for some reason.
It's a government agency. Yeah.
Okay. So which
is why they're probably so shitty. If they were a private company, we probably have better airline security.
That's true. But I just, all this is happening, and first of all, there's very little public acknowledgement from the liberal side of the media and the liberal side of the Twitter sphere about the equal application of the law in this case. Can we acknowledge that? It's being applied the way that it would have. And then, of course, you'll get a hyper vigilant liberal. They go, well, yeah, but if they were black and brown, they would have shot him then. I don't know. It was out of control. They were unprepared. Yeah. You know what I mean? I think if they had the numbers, it would have been worse on that day.
The Capitol Guard who basically tricked the mob into following him away from the Senate. Eugene something, I want to say. I want to say his name's Eugene something, but that guy's here, dude. Yeah, that guy's an American.
Fuck yeah, dude. Hell yeah.
He got to escort VP.
Yeah, I saw that. No, that's good. That's good. See, that I love. What I don't love is that while we're admiring that, Biden already wants to return more troops to fucking Iraq or Afghanistan.
Sure, of course he does. Yeah.
Where is the outcry from the liberal left about that? Because in the last 4 years, I don't recall one fucking terrorist threat that was made public to the American people at the very least.
I mean, just domestic, right?
Exactly. Yeah. And white as fuck. You know what I mean? White and black and like American, So what the fuck are we doing? Returning him for what?
Right.
And they don't take him to task. That's what's crazy to me is that I'm going from the Trump craziness, which I think is going to go down in history and infamy. But this last fucking transition days, it blew my mind. It's blowing my fucking mind, dude. The immediacy to which he has to pay favors back. Same thing with a Keystone pipeline. Listen, wherever you fall on that fucking side of the argument, okay? He's doing it because of special interest.
Yeah, unquestionably, right? And Trump was criticized heavily for messing with relations with Canada, our number one trade partner. Does this not fuck over Canada extremely hard?
Yeah, yes.
Does this not extremely fuck over Canada?
The governor of Alberta or something already came out and said, we're not cool with you, man. That's fucked up. This morning I read it.
Yeah. I believe that.
So, but again, now we're quiet.
Yeah. Well, I mean, again, it's the, I wish I could remember the exact word, the making of the American public as babies, right? The adults are in charge
infantilizing.
Now. There you go. Thank you. That's the word I'm thinking of.
Yeah.
The adults are in charge again. Joe Biden, Kamala Harris, you don't have to pay attention. They're going to take care of everything. And then, right, the people who peripherally pay attention, they're going to hear something like, oh, the transgender thing, and they're going to be super pleased about it. That's the reality.
Yeah. Until their daughter is 16.
Trying to get a scholarship.
And she's playing soccer against a fucking striker who identifies as a female and gets hip checked. I mean,
I'm curious to think, right, the prevalence of this, because I know that you do have cases of it, right? Unquestionably, there were some runners in some southern state who identified as females that were allowed to run. So I'm curious to see here in the future the prevalence of it.
Yeah.
Because you still right. I mean, just in terms of a percentage,
I don't think it's that prevalent. That's why this makes it so infuriating.
It can't be the percentage of 8%, a single digit number, if that.
I mean, yeah,
a percentage of a percentage point. I don't know. I would be curious. But yeah, I agreed. It's a misguided priority.
Yeah. Nah, I mean, well, we're in the ride. Yeah. We're in the fucking ride. So,
strap in.
I mean, we'll see. As long as he survives, he's got to survive at least 4 fucking years. But hopefully they're pumping him up full of all kinds of Arnold Schwarzenegger Jews and fucking Sylvester Stallone Jews,
right?
Just to keep him plump. Keep him plump.
Just make a hologram, whatever. Trump had a hologram.
Listen,
make him into a hologram.
Do whatever you're gonna do that does not allow you to shoehorn in a candidate that was quickly declined by the American population of her preference. not even the entire country, which is definitely against it.
Yeah.
Her own fucking party declined it. So let's just keep that really at the forefront of our goddamn thought process.
She also eviscerated Joe Biden in the debates, and there was no real readdressing of that once. It was kind of just laughed off like, oh, ha, ha, ha.
Oh, debates be crazy. Yeah. Yeah, I saw that. Yeah, no, man. I mean, we need Tim Kennedy to run. We need fucking...
I don't know if I want Tim Kennedy to run for political office. That guy's
I love it.
batshit insane, dude.
He's a little bit crazy.
Yeah.
He's a little bit crazy. It's just the crazy we may need.
I mean,
no,
thank you. No, thank you. I mean, those guys are important, and they're definitely necessary for a country to...
Can you imagine parachuting down into their inauguration? Whoa.
You're so dumb. You're so dumb.
Tim Kennedy, Mr. President with a tie.
No. I disavow the statement. I disavow this.
I love it.
I'm also a little bit...
I'll take The Rock.
I'm also a little bit surprised that we haven't...
say no.
I mean,
you take The Rock too. You take The Rock too. I do it.
Right. I'm surprised we haven't heard more. Well, I guess maybe not. I'm not surprised, but you would think. I think you would think that we would be hearing more from Donald Trump in the days following, and I guess you really can't because he's not on Twitter. I guess you can't. But also, I guess
it could be on TV though,
he could
right?
Be on his own TV network.
He could be on the newspaper. He could be on a magazine.
Right. He could be buying billboards in every country or in every state, every major city. And it's not surprising that he took his ball and cried and went home, right? Because I mean, that's the equivalent of what he's done. It feels like, but
yeah,
you would just think after, well, you know what? Maybe he's keeping his campaign promises of if you don't vote for me, you'll never hear from me again.
With his resources, he could have done a podcast already for an hour,
or just go on other people's podcasts. Go on like Steve Bannon, Glenn Beck, Rush. Like, I
think he doesn't know. I don't think he have any idea. Yeah. I think it's just, I think this got out of hand even for him. You know what I mean? Like, clearly.
Well, and like, right, I can't, especially with that guy, I can't imagine him being like, oh, I love being president. It doesn't seem like
well, I mean, we talked about this not too long ago. I can't imagine him loving anything.
Sure. Golf?
That doesn't
seem to be an avid golfer.
Well, I heard he's a cheating piece of shit golfer.
So he's the average golfer.
So
he's the average golfer, average American golfer who doesn't
he doesn't seem to me like a person that has enjoyments outside of being rich and having power over people.
Because
you
of
know
that.
what I mean?
Yeah.
So I don't know. It's like, as somebody said, you know whose implosion I've been really thoroughly enjoying on Twitter is Tim Pool.
I mean, right? Tim Pool is good for what he is. If you try to make Tim Pool anything more than what he is, and what he is someone that reads news articles on YouTube.
Perfect. Yeah,
that's what he is. Yeah. His actual opinions, not good. Yeah. But he's just someone that reads. He's a good way to access news that maybe isn't as highlighted. But it's very clear that he is as much as he tries to show that he doesn't have an ideological shift, it's very clear he does. It's very clear he does.
He has a lot of he's
but when there's new UFO news, he's on top of it.
Yeah, but it's weird to me what I consider to be a cowardly, effeminate way of dealing with shit.
Sure.
Because you can lose and be a man, and you can be wrong and be a man, but you can't do, for me or my kids, is be aggressive as fuck and then be wrong or lose.
Right.
And not be aggressively acknowledging of that too.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like that.
Well, I mean, right? Like it's...
So
we had a great example of this last night, right? With your, I mean, not even just with Connor, but with your son. Like, nobody likes a sore loser.
Yeah.
You gotta be graceful in a defeat and win.
Yeah, and that's what tells you exactly. My son's 6.5. He's learning that.
Yeah.
So what's your fucking excuse when you're a grown man? I have two questions. Did no one ever tell you this, or did you ignore it every time someone's told it to you throughout your life? Because that's the only two fucking options that I see viable. You can't tell me you've never been in that position because you're alive and you're
with Tim Pool, it's like you don't agree with me because you're a liberal or something. Like that's like the fucking response. It's like whatever, just because of whatever ideology you ascribe to, you're just not a fan of me because of that.
Which is clear, by the way, because last week, so I had some retweets of something that I replied to Jake Shields on a story, and I can tell that it was pro-Trump people. But my profile's public. If they were to go to my profile, they probably wouldn't have retweeted me because they would have seen some other shit that is against Trump that I've retweeted or that I've mocked, you know. But it was like, so I think it was Jake Shields was saying that if Trump wasn't that if Trump wanted to do that if Biden wanted to do something real, he'd pardon Assange and fucking Snowden. Right?
Biden wouldn't it be Trump? Wouldn't this have been Trump in the last days? Because this was a big thing in the last like week of his administration.
No, that it would be a good way to piss off Trump because Trump didn't do it.
Yeah.
And so my reply was like, well, he can't do that because that would also piss off. That's a nice thought, but that would also piss off Daddy Obama, who promised us he would be a liberator, a fucking whistleblower, since the biggest whistleblowing liar in the last 20 years.
Yeah.
Some of the rednecks went fucking apeshit over that and liked it and retweeted it. It's like, motherfucker, why don't you look down the timeline? You don't want me. You don't want me. But it's just an example of like the quickness.
Yeah, of course.
You know, because I'm telling you, man, I had this week when I was listening to that podcast I told you about privately, when the guy compared Twitter to the phone company, I was like, of all the social medias that I can think of, I definitely think that actually makes sense. I've done a complete 180 on Twitter, not on everything else, because a lot of everything else is about grandstanding for vanity and for clout, right? But with Twitter, there's a definite immediacy that people need to have access to unrestricted. They do. If there's going to be a community set of standards or anything, that needs to be published. It needs to be set. And if you're going to have a committee, that committee should be public and it should be encompassed of people of different opposing viewpoints.
Well, and like, it very much feels that there needs to be some sort of internet bill of rights. Yeah. That seems to be like the place it's heading. I don't know if it's going to happen, but that feels like something that makes sense. And that's something that would be very beneficial for everyone.
Yeah. And I do think that the more I thought about it because of this guy made a lot of really, really good arguments for both sides. For I forgot his name, but it was a really good podcast. And he, when he compared it to the telephone company, and you go, well, yeah, that is true. And the telephone company has stayed telephone company the whole time. You know, I mean, when somebody has, when they catch a pedophile on one of these FBI rings or whatever, they don't fucking make the internet company liable because this guy got on the dark web to trade illegal fucking images or whatever.
Sure.
You know what I mean? Like, so there's definitely something that needs to probably be revamped there. And I see it mostly with Twitter because it seems to be the preferred medium for every fucking journalist and everybody that like the reporting and all that, you know, is a very quick exchange. So I think it's definitely a good argument because it's as much as I don't care for Trump. I only followed him while he was a president. Outside of that, I don't, you know.
I didn't even need to follow him. I feel like anything that was like big enough and like everything would get enough traction on Twitter that you would find out about it regardless.
Yeah. You did. I just, you know, while he was president, at first I found it very entertaining, and it was also like
it was
interesting. It was interesting that a fucking president was tweeting so much.
Absolutely, right? I mean, there's been like the closest thing I can think of is like FDR with the fireside chats, and like imagine if Trump had transitioned from doing some sort of Twitter thing to going live on YouTube, right? Like that's an underrated move for politicians, and I think someone that is a great example. Someone that does this.
I don't think he has a plan.
Well, yeah, definitely not. But one of the best politicians you can point to that does this really well is AOC. She goes on the Instagram live and interacts with whoever's in there, and like,
well, yeah, but she's like 33, right?
Well, yeah.
I mean, she's young as shit.
Yeah.
But yeah, she's good at that. She definitely is. Yeah. But yeah, I don't. I mean, I hope this guy has some sort of humanity in him that wants him to enjoy the rest of his life without so much fucking bitterness.
I got like a spasm, sorry.
You know? Yeah.
I got like a real bad spasm in the back of my back from that stretch.
Oh, yeah. You got to be careful. Sometimes you get cocky with a stretch.
It felt so good, though, until it didn't. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
But I just hope his family goes away. I think that they should just go back to doing what they were doing, and it's going to be tough to live with that much hatred towards you for the rest of your life.
Yeah.
Because they brought it on themselves.
And like, right, imagine like some of the lesser like profile Trump children, like not Ivanka, like Tiffany Trump, fucking Barron Trump. Like Barron's fucking like 18 and he has to deal with this the rest of his life.
Mm-hmm.
Shit sucks, bro.
Yeah.
I mean, it can't suck that bad. You're fucking still a Trump or whatever, but.
Well, I mean, they can turn it around. The problem is if it's profitable for them as children of the rich guy to act like they're impressed by the way that he acts.
Sure.
Sometimes in order to keep sucking up teeth and have daddy keep paying all your bills.
How long do you think Melania and Donald it takes for them to get a divorce now that they're no longer in office?
I don't think they do. I think if anything, he'd pay her to not divorce him until he dies.
Okay, that's a great point. That's a great point. All right, never mind. That's a great point.
I think it's worth millions and millions for her to do that for him.
Yeah.
So.
Damn.
Yeah, man. Well, I think that's a wrap.
I mean, like truly, like we were just so into UFC this week. I felt like kind of everything else was kind of secondary leading up into that. I mean, look, I still have my green for St. Connor.
Well, and it's also a funny transitional period in the news because I can tell the liberals are already not questioning anything that Biden does, right? Everybody's like having lattes and celebrating the fucking Trump's not there anymore. And the fucking right wingers turned out to be such pussies that they're still not on top. They're not on top of calling him out yet. What now you're off? You were on for 4 years and now without like that's where it's so weird, like the fickle nature of
attention
spans. The extremes, Because I mean, the news cycle is still reporting these things.
Sure. Yeah.
It's the indifference of people that fails to gain him traction.
Right. The classic, I feel like, right. Trump generated a lot of reply guys, which are people who like reply to Twitter to like big accounts with like, obviously the big accounts are never going to see your fucking tweet. You're truly just yelling into the void. And like with Trump gone, those people no longer care about politics.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Well,
it's gonna be.
I think that's it, right? Episode 25. You got anything? You got your notes?
Not today. I'm good. I was all full of the McConnors and the disappointment for the fucking UFC, man.
Yeah.
God damn it.
Yeah.
But what are you gonna do? They're the only game in town.
Till bare knuckle reaches a critical mass.
I mean, it's a different product. I like both of them. I don't want to lose any of them.
Sure.
It's just very it's frustrating that they're so short-sighted in that regard.
Gotcha. Yeah.
Because also $70, I don't think that a pay-per-view costs $70 in fucking Russia. Definitely I don't think that, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
this is what
that's
it's
on top
to the
of the
American public.
That is on top of the subscription fee that you have to pay for ESPN Plus to even get the gift of being able to buy.
That's it. Like if you're in Brazil, do you have to have ESPN Plus?
No, they have like I know in England it's through Sky Sports, and in fact, I'm pretty sure the majority of pay-per-views here in America for UFC in like England are free, as long as you subscribe to that because it's like a sports channel you would subscribe to for your television. So whatever.
So yeah, it's but Chandler he arrived.
Yeah,
and Dustin
pour one out for my man Dan Hooker. You'll be back, baby. You'll be back.
He'll be back. He'll recover. His next fight is very interesting now. Very telling.
I mean, that entire lightweight division is just such a fun firecracker.
Yeah.
Bunch of fun firecrackers. Well, let's get the fuck out of here.
Cool.
So this has been episode 25 of The Children of the Beast. You can listen to the show on anywhere you get your podcasts. Spotify. We're on Spotify, Carlos. You can listen to our podcast on Spotify.
I know. I'm subscribed to us.
Hell yeah, gamer.
That's my second subscription.
Hell yeah. So just like my brother Carlos, please go out there and subscribe on Spotify, on the YouTube channel, Children of the Beast podcast. Remember, you have to add in that podcast to find us. You can get us on iTunes, wherever you get your podcasts. You can follow me on social media at Andrew_the_Hut with 2 T's. You can follow Carlos at Wolfchild1980. Twitter, Instagram, same. Yeah, that's it. We're done. We all hope you have a great day. Great rest of your evening, night, morning, whenever you're listening to this. Go kick ass.
Namaste, motherfucker.
Namaste.